All right, y'all, it has been a wild week for me, but we are back with our first unboxing of this month. So, of course, you guys know that Traxxas announced last week at the time of this video, this new Raptor R 4x4 truck. So basically, this is probably what the Traxxas Slash should have been, but it's taken them a while, probably went through the ins and outs and everything else, and they actually come out with this vehicle called the Raptor R 4x4 Pro Scale. So I'm going to do a quick unboxing with this. I did see this run earlier today at Hobbytown in Buford, Georgia. And that actually impressed me, the way it ran and stuff for it with it. So if you guys want, they do have a demo model there at that Hobbytown. You guys can go up there and you can check it out, and they'll show it to you, and they'll actually run it for you as well. So you guys can go up there and see this run, which is going to be pretty impressive when you see it run, because it was faster than what I thought it was going to be. But I did get this from Hobbytown in Buford, Georgia. So I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, he gets a lot of stuff and he's sponsored. No, I actually don't, guys. I really don't. But I do appreciate the guys up there in Buford and stuff showing me the model, and then they had, you know, one or two more in, and I got this from them. So I'm pretty glad that I got this actually here. But like I said, this is going to be kind of like a beefed up Slash. You guys see here, I'm just going to flip this around real quick and show you guys. It is longer. That glare is probably going to kill it a little bit. It is longer than a Slash. 4x4, it's got a new extended chassis, so they just extended that out. And of course, the center drive shaft is going to be aluminum. It does come with the VXL 3500 kV motor in the 3S system, which I think they should have did the same thing they did with the Haas and put the 2400 in here at least and geared it up. That way you could do that. I don't know. I think they should have done that, because that would have been better, because I know this is probably going to overheat. Try to get that glare off of there. I know this is probably going to overheat when you're running, but it does come with their 2075 servo, which I haven't had too many issues with. And you guys see there, adjustable clipless battery mode. Basically a clipless battery strap. And so this does have a clipless body as well. And it does come in two colors. You guys see here, it's got the red and the blue. And then they also have a black edition too, which is like going to be like, I guess, a special runoff. And then at the end of the year, they'll have more and stuff that comes with it. But I think it's going to be fine as the way it is. And just to let you guys know, this, of course, says 60 miles per hour out the box. We'll give that a test tomorrow. It does come with the TSI or TQI radio with it. It has TSM and stuff on it. But I think that for the price point compared to the Slash 4x4, in my opinion, this is going to be the better buy, because this is going to be larger than the Slash 4x4. It performed a lot better. It's got the clipless body and it looks a lot better. It's a lot bigger and beefier than the Slash 4x4. So they didn't just take a Slash 4x4 and just stretch the chassis out. They actually made a couple of improvements from the Slash 4x4, like the drive shaft, which I'll show to you, and a couple of things that make this going to be better than getting a Slash 4x4 Ultimate, because I think the regular Slash 4x4 with the high center of gravity is $399, and the Ultimate is $499, and then you got this for $529. Of course, that's not including tax with it. But anyway, I'm going to quit my yap, and I'm going to get this open and unboxed for you guys. So give me just a minute. I'm going to take this off, and we're going to get our smell-o-vision on. All right, y'all, there we go. Now, I already seen this at the Hobbytown in Buford when I went up there earlier, just to look at it and check out a couple of things. But let me go ahead. Let's get this beauty out and let's take a look at it. All right, y'all, here we go. And I'm going to turn this light off. I'll probably turn it back on. We take the body off and take a look inside. But you got to love the smell and the feel of a brand new RC car. It just, I think I've only had one car that didn't smell the best when we took it out the box brand new. And that was the Epidemic from, I think it was, what was it, Force RC, if you guys remember that company. They had several cheap cars they came out with, and their 8-scale cars just had a unique, I guess, type of smell or whatever to them. So I may have to actually take this body off to get all this plastic off. So, but let me go ahead, let me rip this off real quick. All right, y'all. So there we go. So I'll be doing a comparison to a Slash 4x4 probably within the next couple of days or so. I'll do a size comparisons. And then I'll also do a speed test between the two. I'll try to make sure it's pretty much stopped with the Slash. Any Slash I got is going to be very old, but it would be better to probably compare this to the. All right, y'all. Throat was a little dry there, so I had to get a little piece of candy or something. But anyway, this does look good out the box, and I'm glad that it comes with lights. That's why I say between this and the Slash, this is probably going to be your better deal if you think about this in the Ultimate. Now, the Ultimate, of course, comes with the center diff and stuff, but it doesn't come with lights, which is, I think, a plus this vehicle has. And it also doesn't come with the clipless body. And it doesn't come with this nice body either. I know some people are Ford fans, so of course they're not going to really like this, but I'm pretty sure Proline either has or going to come out with a body that can fit this, because this is going to be basically about 8 scale in size. It kind of reminds me of the HPI SC 8 when they had an 8 scale kind of short truck. I had one of those, but I kind of got rid of it. But that's what this looks like. And it's actually, like I said, it looks good. It's going to look good with the lights and stuff on it. So let me go ahead. Let's get this body off. But before we get off, let's take a look at these goodies that we have. So, of course, we have our TQI radio that comes with it. It has a TSM on it. Some people say it handles better with the TSM. I think that was RC Driver. And then the guy at Hobbytown that drove it actually said he drove without the TSM. That's the one you guys saw in the video earlier today. So I'm going to try it with both. They usually have a pretty good factory setting right here with the TSM on and stuff. But I'll try without it first, and then we'll go back there with later on. Of course, they have their Bluetooth link enabled that you can actually put. I don't know if this has Bluetooth in it or not. I don't think it does. I believe if it did, it'd have that little module that would fit up and have a little link to it. But you can actually sync this up with the Traxxas app and stuff, which I'm not going to worry too much about with that. And then, of course, you get your bag of goodies. You get some extra decals in here. Looks like you get some shock spacers and stuff. And then you get a speed gear. But with this particular gear that's included, according to the box, it won't hit 60 plus miles per hour. You have to actually put a 19 in there. So this may be an 18 or 17 that's included with it. I have to check and see. And I think it's a 13 that's actually on the vehicle. I don't think it's an 11 too, but we'll have to see. I'll try to get all that information. So when I do my Super Speed Saturday test and run stock out the box, we can know what kind of speeds we're getting with the stock gearing. And then we can change that out at some point in time. But seeing this run today on 3S, I was fine with that. I didn't need any more speed personally on it, but I know you guys want to see some speed tests. So like I said, we'll test this tomorrow, stock out the box, see what kind of speeds we get, and then we will go from there. And some of you guys may be asking, what is this I have here? So basically, I've had this for about 2.5, 3 months. G-Power actually sent this to me to review, to show to you guys. And this has actually been pretty good. I've been trying to actually use it for a while to make sure that the battery life on this lasts long. A lot of times, you'll get products like this and the batteries don't last that long on them. I mean, they'll last for maybe a couple of months or something. They'll just die down real quickly. But this has actually been pretty good. So I'll leave a link below in the description if you guys are looking for an additional power source sometimes when you're out in the field. I haven't tried this with a charger just yet, but it's got a 20,000 milliamp battery in it. And when you get it, you first get it takes about 2 or 3 hours to charge it up. And then, of course, it's got 3 different ways you can use it. It's got an AC outlet, a USB, and then a micro USB that's in there. And I've actually used this a lot, but I'll put a link down below in the description. You can actually get 20% off this. So it's $89.99 and you'll get 20% off, which is about $16. So you can actually get it at a good price, cheaper than when it was when I got this about 2.5 months ago. So it is actually on sale. So if you guys are looking for something that's light and easy to carry around, this may be an additional source because you could plug up fans and stuff to it too. I know summer's kind of ending now. But I'll have more information on this a little bit later on. But I did at least want to show this to you guys and present this to you. And there'll be a link in the description if you guys are interested. And then a power source to kind of carry around with you. So anyway, let's get back to this. Let me go ahead. Let me get this body off and let's see what we got inside. All right. So as you guys know, this does have this clipless body on it. Now, I do recommend, I did see RC Driver. He actually ran it. He actually recommends you putting a little tape here on the sidewalls because these Nerf bars that are on the side, as you start running, are going to actually rub up against that. So he recommends putting a little tape on the inside there. And I would put some tape on these inside rear wells or tire wells and stuff as well, just in case your tires start to explode up or balloon up or you're jumping and the body compresses down and it starts rubbing on this and it's actually going to eat that paint away. So that's something I recommend if you don't like. I don't really reinforce my bikes. I kind of leave them like it is. But I'm going to try not to damage this body too much for that. But here the vehicle is, and it actually looks good. It reminds me, of course, of a Slash 4x4, just kind of longer and a little bit more beefed up. And beefed up meaning by, I'm going to turn this light on now because we won't have too much of a glare. There we go. Beefed up meaning these drive shafts. So they seem like they took I guess if a Slash and a Traxxas Max had a baby, a wide Max, it would kind of be this. He just wouldn't be as wide, but he'd be long. And he'd also have some of these beefy components like these drive shafts. I'm so glad they did this and put these on here. Now, you can't just take these and pop these on your regular Slash 4x4 because these hub carrier stuff are going to be a different size and stuff. But I'm pretty sure at some point in time, Traxxas may or may not sell this as a kit to beef your Slash up. Or this may already be a beefy component. I'm not sure. I know they have a heavy duty, I think package or something they sell for their vehicles. I haven't been paying too much attention to some of the upgrades they are, some of the stuff they've been selling for their cars. But that is definitely a plus because that's one of the number one things of just about every 10th scale Traxxas car, if not all of them, especially 4-wheel drive, is going to be these rear drive shafts here. These, especially the rear brake and the front brake too. But since they're plastic, they are easy to break once you start putting a lot of power down. So anyway, we're going to work our way from the ends, from the outside going in real quick because I'm trying not to spend too much time on this. But the tire compound is actually pretty good. It's not too soft on the sidewalls and it's not too soft of a compound either. So I don't expect too much tire ballooning on here. If I compare these to like the Slash Platinum or the Ultimate tires, I would say these are a lot harder. They're not as hard as, if you guys are familiar with the Traxxas vehicles, they're not as hard as the Haas tires, which is fine. But that means that these are not going to balloon as well because the Haas tires are good too. The Haas stock tires are good. And I actually have a set of those. I'll probably end up doing something with this in just a minute. And as you guys know, this does not have the LCG chassis on it, which I think is good. I think that this chassis, this higher center of gravity chassis, always performed a little bit better for off-road bashing than the LCG chassis did. And it'd be interesting if they use this to make like a Stampede 4x4X and put some bigger tires on it, make a little bit wider and put like a Stampede body on it that's clipless. That would actually be good, but they may not because they have the wide max and stuff out. But anyway, you do have your Millennium system in it. I wish they would have at least done what they did with the Haas, put the 2400 kV motor here and just use this speed controller because that would have been fine and just geared it up from maybe a 15 to maybe a 16 tooth pinion gear or something. I think that would have worked great as a combo in here and work with the heat with it because I did hear that when you run this on 3S, you will possibly experience some heat issues. So we'll see once we get this out for the first run for this. Other things that are actually going to be new to this, and I'm going to go ahead and flip this over. Like I said, I'm going to try not to make this too long, but it's already 10 minutes into it. It's going to be like this front bumper because they did actually have those lights that they added onto it. It looks like it's another piece or component that's right here. And this actually comes from, it's probably the Slash and the Stampede, the high center of gravity vehicles, as well as this back piece too. But they did reconstruct, as you guys see here, the rear bumper to fit those lights and stuff on it, which I'm glad they put those lights and stuff on it. We already talked about the hub carriers with that. And other than the longer chassis and then, of course, the longer drive shaft, everything else, and, of course, these body mounts, the clipless body, and tires and wheels with that. I think everything else is pretty much a Slash. So it is basically a beefed up Slash. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is going to be this battery tray. I do have a couple of batteries here I want to show to you guys because this is going to actually be really important because we looked at this at the hobby shop earlier today when I was there. So I was going to run, I still am going to run this 3S LiPo battery. This is a hard case LiPo. And if you fit this in here, of course, it'll fit in the tray lengthwise. But if you try to close this down, it's really not going to close down. You guys see how that's arcing over. And we looked at the expansion for it, or there's actually one that's has a little curve on it from the Haas and then from some of the other vehicles. The problem is, and I wish I took a picture of it, was when this actually clips down, even though it has a curve, the curve is right here. So you really still can't close this down. And then we thought about using one of their expansion kits where you can kind of rise these up and stuff. But as we took this out, to our surprise, this piece for this battery tray is actually proprietary to this vehicle. So you can't use the ones that they have for the Slash or for the Haas or for the Rustler in here because, and I wish I could take this off, but where this screw is where my finger is pointing, there's actually a plastic piece in there. So you'd have to actually Dremel that piece out, and then you could probably use that expansion kit that's got those, I think it's like 3 cylinders or something you could put in it and use it. But that's a lot to actually work with this. And I was hoping that, I know my 2S SMC LiPo is going to fit in here just fine. But I'm worrying about this 7600 because this is probably going to be too big to let it fit. Yeah, it's not going to work. Well, if I take this foam spacer out, which I'll probably end up doing, which will push that back and that'll fit in there. You guys are probably wondering about the connectors. I can either change this connector or I have an adapter for this SC5 or almost like an EC5 adapter to a Traxxas. But let me take this out because I'm curious if this battery is going to fit in here. So we take that out and that's not going to fit either. Now, there's several things you can do because we did discuss this at the hobby shop and I thought about several things you can do as well. You can actually cut into the chassis, which I'm not going to do. And then you can just take some Velcro straps and loop it through to secure your battery down. So that's going to be option number one. Then there's some companies, I can't think of it right off the bat, but I'm pretty sure you guys know. I'll put it in the description, that actually sell like a little strip that actually strips here and it's got Velcro straps you can strap on and keep your battery down for it. I'll try to find the part number and put in the description if I can remember, but I doubt I'll be able to. But if I do, look in the description for that because I can't think of the name of it now, but I will find it and it's probably going to flash up because I just probably found a picture for it after this video. But there is that option. Or if you don't have any of that and you kind of want to do your own thing, you can do what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this double-sided tape. This is some Gorilla double-sided tape. And I have my own straps. And I'm basically going to secure these down. I'm probably going to put 2 pieces of tape down to kind of try to secure these down with double-sided tape to make sure this is down. Or if you can just find some tape and tape it down, however you want to do it, to make sure they stay secure. And that way, I'll kind of have it rigged like that with the tape in there. Or I may find a way, but I'll try this first to see how this works. But I'm pretty sure you get some strong tape and you make sure it's down up in there good. Some people, they may use a little shoe glue or something in there to keep this secure down with that. So that's going to be another option. That's probably what I'm going to do because I'm going to actually take this out for a quick 3S run later tonight, maybe tomorrow. And then we got to get this ready for a super speed Saturday test. And excuse me, I'm kind of getting over a little cold. And then also, I heard that this vehicle will overheat on 3S after you run it for maybe several minutes. And if I plan on running this 7200 milliamp battery in there, it's definitely going to overheat. So I did go ahead and purchase this Traxxas fan, but this is expensive. This is $25 for this fan to pop on the ESC. And then I do have a Castle fan that I can put on this motor to keep that cool. But I think that they should have went ahead and included this because it's included with the Haas. And I think the Haas is $479. So it would have been good to include this with this vehicle as well. And this does not have a center diff, but it has a slipper clutch. But it does have the metal pads on the slipper clutch and not those, I think it's graphite pads or something. So the slipper clutch will last a little bit longer. And it is kind of a Revo spec slipper clutch. But I think they should have put a center diff in it, in my opinion. And it will need sway bars too. You guys will see as I run it, it will need sway bars. I think that's why when he was running it, it flipped over a couple times. But we'll worry about that in just a couple of weeks once we get this out running and stuff, when we start pouring more money into it. And then one other thing I saw at Hobbytown when I was up there, y'all, was cracking, y'all. I got these J Concept tires. Now, these Speed Fangs, the reason why I got these is because you guys see there, it says with 12 millimeter and 17 millimeter adapters on black wheels. So if I want to turn this into a speed car, I don't have to go out and buy 17 millimeter adapters and all that. This already has this in here. These tires are just a tad bit, you guys can see, smaller than the stock ones. They're probably about the size of the Traxxas Slash ones, but these are belted and these should actually be good. So I'm going to take these out real quick. So here's a look at these tires. They should be fine on here. And like I said, they do have this adapter where it's going to be 12 millimeter or 17 millimeters somewhere in this bag. I was hoping to not have to rumble through a lot of stuff to get this out. So here you go here. Here's the adapters that are going to be 12 millimeters. And it looks like that's a pretty deep cut there, so I don't have to worry about that stripping. And then, of course, that's going to be the 17s over there. So they give you, of course, 2 12s and then 2 17s to bolt on here. And of course, they got screws and stuff on there. So I'm definitely going to be putting these on, and they just kind of fit in there, and you just kind of screw them down there. That's going to be, of course, for the 17, and then for the 12, it's going to fit just like that. So that's a pretty good way. Maybe they'll come out with some 14s or something at some point in time. But I plan on using these if I plan on doing some speed tests or speed pass with this, but not with the stock body, because we know that's going to parachute. But I could lower this down and see what kind of speeds we get, because with the longer chassis, it's going to perform a little bit better. But guys, that's going to be a look at this. This is a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be, 16 minutes long. So it's going to be about 17, 18 minutes. We'll take everything all together for it. But put your comments down below of what you think about this, and put your comments what you think the speed test is going to be and how fast it's going to be when we get that out running tomorrow. And like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe, put your comments down below. Go ahead, go over there and check this out if you can. G-Power, like I said, they sent this over to me. So this wasn't something that I bought, but they did send this over to me for the review for you guys. And so far, it's been good. Like I said, it's held up well. I've had it out there with my laptop before and things like that. So it's held up pretty good, and it hasn't been bad. I think for the $89 plus the 20% off, I think it's a pretty good deal for that if you're looking for a portable power supply. So anyway, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe. Stay tuned for the next video. If I get all this strapped on there, I'll definitely show this to you in the Super Speed Saturday test tomorrow and let you know how these battery straps hold. And as always, I appreciate you guys watching.